So, what's the real difference between successful entrepreneurs and those that struggle? A lot of times people are actually going to say, well, it's their talent, it's the connections they have, it's the funding, the money that they have, or maybe it's even just luck. The reality is, if you really boil it down, it comes down to one thing, which is a core value. It is an important thing, which is called discipline. Now, when I was growing up, I always thought discipline was a thing that was like being rigid, and you couldn't do the fun stuff and things like that. I fought the system in that aspect for a very long time. And it wasn't until I actually got quite a bit older that I realized that discipline is the key. Discipline is the thing that's going to help get you where you want to go. It's just building habits and sticking with them. In ancient wisdom, the principles of discipline really did, that's what made people successful. And it still holds true today. So I want to go through a few things related to discipline. If you think about ancient wisdom, think about the ancient Stoics, the samurai, the Buddhists, the monks, they had all these disciplines. They had the things that they were doing. And you've got to stop and think about discipline isn't a punishment, it's a freedom. So what I want to do now is actually go through, there are 5 principles that are great to follow to really help you create that discipline in your day-to-day life where so many people just can't get to it. And so I want to start with the very first principle, which is small daily actions. These don't have to be complicated. You don't have to think of discipline as this big, scary thing. It could be real simple. For me, a couple of the basic things I do gratitude every morning, first thing when I start. I work out every day. Now, there are days that I miss every once in a while. I am human, but I am fairly consistent. Like for me, 4 days a week is a bad week. Okay. There are things like that you can do. Reading every day. You want to be disciplined to grow your mind, pick up a book and actually read for 20 minutes a day. Being disciplined to work off of a checklist of the things you need to do. Don't work while you're watching the TV because chances are it's going to distract you and it's going to take a lot longer to do that. Instead of at night watching 4 or 5 hours of TV before you go to bed, again, read a book, or maybe you're watching videos, but those videos are teaching you something that's going to help you, that's going to take you to another level. For me, one of the big things is I will watch some TV. I do enjoy the entertainment, but after dinner, I watch TV while I'm eating dinner. And usually after that, as long as the weather's fine, I actually shut it down and I go for a walk. And while I go for the walk, I'm listening to something. Usually it's kind of like my more meditation or um, mindset kind of stuff. I'll listen to that while I'm on my walk. So I'm learning, but it's not high intense stuff, but I am learning and I'm getting extra exercise in and staying away from the TV. So think of the small things you can do. Small things. If one of the things that you have an issue with is too much clutter, put it on the calendar for 10 minutes a day to clean up your desk or your office. Just 10 minutes, and put it on the calendar. Don't just say, I'm going to do that, because then you won't, but plan it. Say, yes, I am going to do this. But it could be 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be a big thing. You don't have to do it for an hour. Do it for 10 minutes. See, consistency is not glamorous, but it is undefeated. It is the thing that is going to help you go the long haul. The second thing is your morning victories. Your morning victories, one of the things with that, and this is a thing goes back again to the warriors of the past. They started their day with training. Okay. Well, what are you doing to train yourself? For me, I have 2 things that are on my list. Number 1 is that gratitude. I write down 5 things I'm grateful for first thing in the morning. What that does is it sets my mind and helps me think bigger, think better, and look for other opportunities throughout the day. So I have a better day just in general. Second thing is working out. I work out in the morning because I don't like doing it even after, a couple of years of doing this consistently. I still don't like to do it. I still don't want to do it, which means that if I don't do it first thing in the morning, I'm not going to do it. And so I make that part of my morning ritual. Start off in the morning. Okay. Maybe it's making your sales calls first thing in the morning, or, you figure out what that is, but figure out something you can do that is your win. The first thing you can do in the morning, because how you start is going to help you determine where you finish. So that first thing in the morning is very important. Number 3 is resistance training. Now, this one's a little bit funky. You think about resistance training from an exercise standpoint, and it definitely applies to that. Think about when you're working out, resistance training is lifting weights, things like that. The whole point is it helps you build stronger muscle. So therefore, the next time you go to do it, you can lift more. That's how you build things up. But those examples or that resistance training works for your mind too. It could be making those difficult phone calls, like chasing down prospects and trying to get them to, buy things like that. It could be that conversation with somebody that you're not really wanting to do. You've got to get in a habit of doing these things. Get yourself out of that comfort zone, because the more you do it, the more you get better. And I'll go back to sales as a great example of this. We all know salespeople that we think they're just completely nuts because it doesn't matter what they do. They can have a conversation or 5,000 conversations a day. The phone does not scare them one bit. Most of that is because they have the experience. They've built up that resistance to failure, that resistance to being told no, to the point that it doesn't faze them. It doesn't hurt them. It's not because they're better. It doesn't mean, well, okay, they are maybe a little crazy, but it doesn't mean that they're crazy. It means they've got the resistance. They've built up to it. Okay. So number 4, accountability. This is a big one. You've got to have some form of accountability. Now, there's a couple of different ways you could do this. You could have an accountability partner, somebody that you share stuff with. I had a client this morning who actually messages me and says, hey, I have this big vision. I want to share it with you because I trust you. And so I read through it, gave a little bit of feedback. I thought it was great. And I know that person trusts me to be there for him. So I know that it's there. And that's a big step for them to give that to me and say, hey, I'm sharing this with you for accountability. You might look at masterminds. I highly recommend being part of a mastermind. It's one of the best things you could possibly do. But even on a more simple basis, if you're not really sure that you have somebody that you can do this with yet, your journal. I highly, highly recommend journaling every day. And that journal should have a component related to your accountability, writing down what are the things that I do today. For me, one of the things that I'm journaling is I am putting down my 5 points of gratitude, and I'm marking the things that I do, that I did that I worked out in the morning, that I did some kind of prospecting for my business. Those are the kind of things you put in there. And another thing that's really big, and I'm actually developing my own journal for this whole process, is how do I work with the virtues? Which virtues that I actually consciously and intentionally become better at for that day? And then obviously journaling the experience, what it was like. Okay. So that could be a journal. That could be writing down, here's the things that I'm going to do today. And then here's the things that I did. This is what I accomplished. The 5th principle is probably the most important. You've got to be purpose driven behind what it is. There's a great quote by Nietzsche. It says, he who has a why can endure anyhow. Let me repeat that. He who has a why can endure anyhow. And when I heard that, I was like, that is just brilliant. Because the more on purpose you are, if you have a purpose, a reason for doing the thing that you're doing, you're much more likely to just do it. I'm going to go back to the health standpoint in this standpoint, because of the fact that this is one that's actually super, super common. I know a lot of people who've decided they're going to quit smoking, they're going to quit drinking, they're going to work out every day and all these different things. And they go back and they say, it's because I want to be healthy for my kids as they grow up. That's such a powerful thing. Have a purpose. Why do you want to do this thing? Why is it important for you? See, most entrepreneurs, the discipline is the drive, or the purpose is the drive. That's what keeps them going. They have an idea. This is what I want to do, and this is how I want to make an impact. And that's what keeps them going. That's what keeps them aligned with that and keeps them accountable for that stuff. I want you to stop and think about those 5 things. Are you taking action every day? Are you starting with small tasks? Don't make it big. You don't have to make it big. Don't worry about being overwhelmed. That's one of the things about making it small. Even if it seems like it's a bit overwhelming, stop and go, can I do this one thing today that'll make a difference? Think about one single task, not the whole project, one single task. That's all you have to think about, because that one single task starts consistency. It starts you down the path. And if you can do one single task every day, it becomes a habit, and then you expand on it, and you expand on it, and you grow on it. Think about these things. Think about how you're implementing in your life, in your business, and what can you do one step at a time that you're going to create a habit every single day that's going to move you forward, that's going to keep you disciplined. And like I said at the beginning, put it on the calendar. Put it on the calendar. It's non-negotiable. Lock it in. With that said, I got some cool stuff that's coming down the pipeline here, and I love to. I've got an audio course that I'm recording. I'm actually going to look over here on my other cool little my other window here, because I actually have something coming up soon called the Inner Edge, and it's an audio course that's going to help you with that calmness, that creativity of how do you deal with the day to day. And if you'd like a copy of that, just put down in the comments and just type Inner Edge. Put that in there. I'll get you the link to it. I'm literally putting the stuff together right now this weekend as I am recording this on a Friday. I would love to be able to share it to you with you as soon as it goes live. So with that said, get out there. Have an amazing, amazing day. If there's anything I can do to help you out, reach out, let me know. Take care.